Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 19, 2024. This is Rob Sin at CEO Technician on X, at Goldfinger on CEO.ca. And this is Goldfinger Capital. And we're going to talk about what does world class mean in mining? What makes a project world class? What makes something world class? So I did this poll on X. The term world class is thrown around all the time in the junior mining sector and really in the mining sector, but also in the junior mining sector. What is the most important attribute of a world class mining project? It got a lot of interesting answers. Some people didn't seem to read the question and wanted to talk about management teams. You know, which if it's a company, if it's a stock, then management team matters a lot, of course. But I was specifically asking projects, not people. Okay, so what is the most important attribute of a world-class mining project? And I gave four choices because these are four key characteristics of any mining project. The infrastructure in the area around the project, let's say within 100 square miles. Mining region, so the jurisdiction, the area of the country. Like in the US, you wouldn't just say the project is in the US. You would say where in the US. You would say Arizona. You would say California. You'd say Wyoming. You wouldn't say Florida. In Canada, same thing, right? Like none of it is remote. And Newfoundland or Red Lake are great places to have a project, right? Same thing in South America. You might say the country, but you would also, if you're being real about it, you'd say the region of the country, right? The exact, like in Colombia, basically the state that it's in. Is it in Caldas? Right, Caldas is a very good mining region of Colombia. And then, of course, large scale or high grade, right? So most people, 82% responded either large scale or high grade. But it's interesting that high grade won. It got the most votes, 41.5%, slightly edging out large scale. And let me tell you my answer. But first, let me say, how do we figure out this question? Okay. If let's say a project had all four attributes and then we removed one of them, would it still make it world class, right? So let's say the project is large scale, high grade with great infrastructure. Is it world class? Quite likely, yes. Is it large scale, established mining region, great infrastructure, but we leave out the grade part? Could it be world class? The answer is actually yes. It could be. And I'll give you an example. What about established mining region, high grade, great infrastructure, but it's not large scale? It's not world class then. It's not. Because even if you have 50 grams per ton, let's say you have 100,000 ounces of 50 grams per ton in Red Lake. High grade, 50 grams per ton, average grade. Red Lake, great infrastructure, great mining region, but 100,000 ounces is nothing, right? You're not going to build a mine for 100,000 ounces. So scale is everything. The answer is large scale. What makes a project, a mining asset, truly world class is its scale and its ability to have a very long mine life and produce a lot of annual revenue, generate a lot of metal. So scale is the number one attribute that makes a project world class. Grade is very close by, but it's not as important as scale. Okay. A lot of comments in my X poll, only pump and dump companies use the term world class. Really? A lot of companies use the term world class, including companies that are absolutely not even close to being pump and dumps. A quick Google search, Rio Tinto uses it, BHP uses it, Barrick Gold uses it, and so many others. Okay, here's an example. Hod Maden. Hod Maden is a world-class gold copper deposit. Another example. Reko Diq, Barrick Gold, a world-class copper gold mine in the making. And there's dozens and dozens of other examples. Absolutely, it's not just a P&D term, okay? Without large scale, nothing else really matters. Great infrastructure and established mining jurisdiction doesn't make a small, high-grade deposit economic. Size matters, guys. Size matters. So Barrick Gold, Reko Diq. I don't even know how to say this. Okay, this is in Pakistan. I like the cover photo. This is if you drew it up, where would you like to find a world-class ore deposit? It would be in this setting. There's no water. There's no water to cause a tailings dam collapse. It's not a wet environment. It's pretty flat, and there's nobody out here. Okay, so yeah, so maybe they have to build infrastructure for sure. Okay, it's going to be a heavy lift to build a mine here, but it checks a lot of boxes. And first 5-year average annual production. So we're talking about 430 million pounds of copper and 280,000 ounces of gold per annum. That is big, big. And here's their, and this is an even better picture in their presentation. This is the project presentation for Reko Diq. So let's scroll down. So this is a porphyry cluster. This is very unique to have this incredible porphyry cluster and such large scale. I mean, look at this, 5 kilometers. That's the scale bar. So this is massive area, and they've got multiple clusters. So it's not just this cluster. They've got satellite clusters. Okay, it's incredible. So some really key things that just pop out. Strip ratio 1.0. It's going to be open pit. Okay, it's near surface, open pit, conventional mining. Strip ratio is critical for an open pit deposit. Strip ratio of 1 or less is fantastic. That's what this one is. And, let's see, where's the grade? Did I pass the grade? Mm-mm-mm. Here. So measured and indicated, so the higher grade portion of the deposit is 3 billion tons at 0.48% copper and 0.26 grams per ton gold. So if I told you I have a copper deposit in Arizona and the average grade is 0.48% copper, you'd be like, not great. But if you have 3 billion tons of it, and really this is 6 billion tons and growing, and it's a strip ratio of 1.0 in an open pit deposit that's pretty close to surface, that's a game changer, especially in a lower cost jurisdiction, right? They think they're going to build this mine for about $4 billion. Okay, if this was in Arizona or Canada, it'd probably be 10 billion. Okay, that's just the reality of it. So there's a lot, this deposit checks a lot of boxes, but the grade, and look at the inferred, 0.35%, and the gold is less than 0.2 in the inferred. Definitely not high grade. In fact, it's low grade. But the economics on this thing are going to be eye-popping. Watch, especially with higher copper prices, with higher copper and gold prices. It's going to be spectacular economics. So yeah, 0.48% in a porphyry, an open pit porphyry works, guys. It works really well. So there you go. Size matters. Large scale. 90% of you should have answered large scale. Size is everything. All right, so that's my X poll for the day and my little spiel on what makes it world class. Now, as far as management team, that's totally subjective. And a management team that calls themselves world class definitely have to raise an eyebrow to that one. Okay. But for project characteristics, we can more objectively evaluate project characteristics. And the number one project characteristic in determining if an asset is world class is its scale. Thanks again for your time. If you found value in this video, please hit the like button and subscribe at Goldfinger Capital. Have a powerful trading day.